Where did you grow up at?
The family grew up in the city of Owensboro, which is where I was born, and we lived there in Owensboro for a few years that I can remember, and from there we moved to McLean County.
What was your happiest or saddest moment as a teen or child?
What I can remember was my happiest moment was going to my grandparents on the weekend, spending time with them. We'd go fishing and go to the country auction house where both of my grandparents worked. And what I would do would I would spend the time with my grandmother, helping her in like the cafeteria where that she would sell the drinks and the sandwiches and stuff to the customers.
What was your first job and how old were you?
Oh, the first job that I can remember was probably working on a farm where my mom and dad were. It was Turner Farms. He was a hog farmer, and I was probably about 6 or 7 years old. And you know what I would probably do is mow the grass and take care of the hogs. Feed them if I had if I could, and clean up after them, and whatever the farmer would want me to do.
What was school like as a child or teen, and how is it different from schools than today?
Well, school for me was pretty difficult. I never really, did well in school. I mean, I was able to graduate. Was the only one to graduate in my family. Uh, what it was different then than it was now is, we did everything with, paper and pencil from, textbooks. Where now most of the kids, get a lot of their work and everything off the computers, and not very much textbook work. It's basically all technology now.
Did anyone close to you and your family serve the war, and what do you remember of this?
Well, my dad, he was in the Vietnam War, and he really didn't talk about it a whole lot, but that was something that I grew up as being a child was military and stuff like that was very important, and of course I pursued the same. As I grew up, I went into the service. I was in the army, and I never seen war. Was fortunate that I didn't have to, but I was a diesel mechanic. I worked on all the equipment from the tanks to any track vehicle or whatnot. So
Do you remember any places that you visited while in the army?
yeah, actually I remember going to Germany, which was one of my favorite places. I stayed over there for probably about a month, 2 months. We had to go over there to work on equipment to get it ready to come back across seas. And after I was there, I got hurt, but wound up coming back to the States and finishing up my term. Never did re-enlist, but enjoyed it.
How long were you in the army?
I did one full term. I was 6 years active, 2 years inactive. So,
Do you remember any fads from like your youth?
oh well, I do remember parachute pants and different type of haircut styles. They had the tight roll legs where your jeans were tight rolled. Uh, I guess the biggest thing was like parachute pants and MC Hammer pants and things like that. But
Do you remember like any kind of haircuts that were really popular back then?
probably it was a different. It was different, I guess. I mean, I'm not really sure what kind of styles you wanted to really call it. I know some wore long hair, uh, you know, punk rocker hairstyles. I guess I'm not really sure.
What kind of activities did you participate in?
Oh, I played different things. I was in the ROTC when I was in high school, which actually got me prepared for the military. Uh, Basketball. I've done some basketball, a little bit of baseball. Uh, I did one of the things in the ROTC program was the rifle team. I was able to, shoot air rifles in competition. Also participated in the Rangers, which was an outdoor activity where you had to do physically fit sort of things for as running, and it's kind of like a cross country, and you had to be able to physically fit things more, like a ranger. You would go in and act like you were saving people or building different bridges and stuff like that. It was fun activities.
What do you believe is the key to a successful marriage?
Communication and trust. Uh, Marriage is based on two different people being able to communicate well and understanding one another, and trust is a big factor. If you betray trust between your spouse, then a marriage is not going to last.